Back on Good Day New York.
Thank you. Great to be here with you.
So do you think the president's speech was an attempt at restoring some credibility for what happened in Afghanistan, etc.?
Well, unfortunately, over the last 8 months, the president has made one bad foreign policy decision after another. You know, the Afghanistan withdrawal was a complete debacle, as you know, and there were a number of mistakes made there. But if you look at just all the other decisions he's made over the years, over the months, looking at, for example, re-entry into the Paris Climate Accord without requiring that China and India also adhere to the same reductions in emissions.
And by the way, those two countries are the biggest polluters, right?
They are, and the reality is that the United States and the UK are the ones that reduce the most, and yet we have to continue to do so while those who do pollute don't. So when he talks about climate change, one of the criticisms that we had was not that we shouldn't be more efficient, it's that we need to make sure it's a level playing field. He didn't even mention China in his speech. And when you think about the COVID being unleashed on the world, and there's zero accountability after millions of people have died worldwide, I thought that was a good opportunity for the president to call on his international partners to call for accountability, to call for a full and thorough investigation into the origins of COVID, and he failed to do that as well. And one of the other striking things was related to the United Nations Human Rights Council. He said he wanted to re-enter this body, but he didn't call out those violators that sit on that council, which make it such a farce. And that includes Cuba, Venezuela, China, and Russia. So I think there were a lot of missed opportunities yesterday in the speech to show strength and to really be the global leader that the United States is expected to be.
Congresswoman, I want to talk about the estrangement between U.S. and France, which is a longtime ally, that deal with Australia to drop the $66 billion deal with France for those submarines in order to favor the U.S. manufactured ones. That has caused a strain with French officials who have said that there was lying, there's mistrust, and how are things looking now? It's up in the air. So do you think that that was a bad deal that we have made under the Biden administration? I mean, that still gives us a $66 billion contract.
Well, I think it's actually one of the few good deals that the president has made or his administration has made. You know, that's what competition is about. And I think that it was purposely very appropriate for us to be making that deal on behalf of our nation. And yes, it has created some tension, but I think what has created more tension with our allies is the way we sort of just abruptly left Afghanistan, which most members of Congress and the American public want to see our men and women come home, but it was the way it was done. And we have American citizens still behind enemy lines because he chose to withdraw the military before the citizens. And there are other countries, our allied countries, who are in that same situation now. Once the United States left, you know, the NATO allies had to leave, and they also probably have many citizens who are left behind enemy lines.